My name is Sian. Grew up in Croydon girl, born and raised. Went to probably the worst schools and colleges in the borough, but anyway. So I really grew up in amongst all the madness. But I came out with pretty good GCSEs. Went and did my A levels, which are completely unrelated to what I do now. So my A levels are in law and politics. It's funny that the field that I'm in now is completely unrelated to everything that I did. So when I left college, I had a few retail jobs, but I went into the bank. So I worked my way up from like cashier, became a branch manager in the end. So I did that for 5 years, went over to Adidas, was a floor manager at Adidas. I got to a certain age where you think to yourself, right, the money doesn't matter anymore. And what you want to do now matters because you don't want to go to work and feel like work. I had a bit of a revelation, let's say at 25, and decided go and do what you want to do. And that's where I am now, basically. I am currently a football coach full time and I'm playing at Millwall. I've always played football. So that was something that I did from when I was younger. When I was like 11, 12, never stopped it. It was always a love of mine. So I just carried on playing. Going from the background that I was in terms of banking, even at Adidas, and I was on a very good wage. So when you're earning 27, 28, 29, 30K plus bonuses, and I was living on my own, I had a flat, I had a nice car, I had a brand new Q3, and I've just had money coming out of my ears. But then when it came to football coaching now, I had to drop everything. I had to let go of that car, I had to let go of that flat, because financially, when you start from the beginning, coaching doesn't pay off. And that's a big pride that you have to swallow. Mummy, can I come back home? Everyone's used to you driving this nice car and now you're on the tram, or do you know what I mean? The lifestyle that you're living, I had to be willing to compromise all of that in order to take the massive pay cut to actually do what I wanted to do. And it's very hard, especially because when you get to your late 20s, your friends are getting married, your friends are having kids, your friends are earning loads of money. They've now found their career path. And then at 25, 26, you find yourself starting again. Your friends have to go on holiday without you. Your friends have to go on shopping trips without you. That fresh pair of trainers that come out, that's £200, you better forget it. So all of this stuff is very difficult. And you do feel like you should be further in your journey than what you are. There are times where you feel very isolated because, like I'm saying, your friends are doing this and you're doing this and you're just back at your mum's. I think in terms of, say, like my mental health and dealing with all of that, I'm very grateful that I've got very good mentors. I've got patient and extremely forgiving friends because when you go through those kind of things, you push people away almost because you feel like you're just on this path on your own. And if it wasn't for the people that I have around me that are like, no, Sian, we're with you. No, Sian, you don't have to push us away. No, Sian, we're here. Don't worry, Sian, I've got the Nando's today. Do you know what I mean? Those small little gestures go a long way when you actually don't have it. I think for me, that was probably the hardest thing, was that complete turnover at such a late point in life. I had to take social media breaks. I came off Instagram, came off Twitter. You need a break sometimes. Uncomfortable conversations are important. You don't want to have them, but sometimes you have to have them. That going home conversation is uncomfortable. Even sometimes, can I have a lift? Some people don't even want to ask those kind of things. I'm one of those people. I don't want to ask. So you really, really need support around you. You need to be able to have honest conversations. You need to be honest with yourself about what's feasible. But at the same time, you have to make some mistakes. If you don't make them and you don't learn from them, then what's life? I'm lucky to have my work as my outlet. I haven't phoned in sick in about 3 years. So not because I don't have that feeling in the morning where it's like, oh, I don't want to go to work today, because it doesn't feel like work. If I am playing football, it's the only time I think that I don't think about anything, as in my mind is completely clear. Yeah, that is probably the main thing that looks after my mental health the most. I know that if I'm feeling a bit down or I'm feeling a little bit demotivated, I need to play football. I think it's important to have people around you that are better and smarter than you, and I don't think you should be intimidated by it. Put it that way. I think it's actually a nugget to have people around you that are like that. If I could go back and tell my 16-year-old self something, if I knew, well, I did know, that's the problem, is that secretly I knew that I loved football. I knew that I would love to coach. I knew that, but I also knew that it doesn't pay very well in women's football. I wasn't willing to take the leap, and I also wasn't willing to understand that potentially if I take the risk, I may not benefit, but there will be women behind me that might. I would forget about, I wanted to go into law because I saw money in it. I wanted to go into that kind of stuff because it paid well, but really and truly, it didn't work out. So not that it didn't work out, but it wasn't for me in the end. So that's what I would tell my 16-year-old self, not to follow the money and to follow what you actually want to do.